Hello, my friend. Welcome to English Accent. Today, we explore one of the most powerful abilities a human mind can develop, mental clarity. In a world filled with noise, pressure, and countless decisions, clarity is not just a skill. It is a form of inner strength. In this story, you will learn English through simple, emotional language, while discovering the secrets behind a calm, focused, sharp mind. So, let us begin this journey into the heart of clarity, where thoughts become light, purpose becomes clear, and your mind becomes a place you can trust. There is a moment in life when you suddenly realize that your mind feels too crowded. You may feel overwhelmed, even if nothing big is happening. Your thoughts feel heavy. Your decisions feel slow. And inside your head, everything seems to be moving in different directions. This is the moment when you understand that clarity is missing. And often, this moment comes quietly, not in chaos, but in a whisper that says, there must be a better way to think, a clearer way to live. Mental clarity is not about being perfect or thinking faster than everyone else. It is about understanding your inner world. It is about seeing your thoughts clearly, like words written on clean paper. And more than anything, it is about having the ability to choose which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones are simply noise. Imagine your mind as a room. When the room is cluttered, everything feels stressful. But when the room is clean, open, and well lit, you feel calm, you feel present, you feel powerful. That is the essence of mental clarity. But clarity does not appear by accident. It is created through awareness, through the ability to notice what is happening inside you. Awareness is the first step, and sometimes it is the hardest step. Many people live their whole lives without pausing to observe their thoughts. They allow stress to lead. They allow fear to speak loudly. They allow confusion to make decisions. But when you become aware, you step into control. You create space between yourself and your thoughts. And in that space, clarity begins to grow. One of the greatest enemies of clarity is mental noise. This noise comes from many places. It comes from the past, the things you cannot change. It comes from the future, the things you fear. It comes from comparison, the endless desire to match someone else's life. And it comes from overthinking, repeating the same thoughts again and again without moving forward. When this noise builds up, the mind becomes cloudy. Even simple decisions feel difficult. But the moment you recognize this noise, the moment you say, I do not need all of this inside my mind, you begin clearing space. Clarity grows when you learn the art of letting go. Not everything you think deserves your energy. Not every memory deserves your attention. Not every worry deserves your focus. The truth is that the mind likes to hold on to everything, even unnecessary thoughts. But clarity comes from releasing what does not serve you. When you let go of one heavy thought, you create room for one peaceful thought. And the more you release, the lighter your inner world becomes. Another key to mental clarity is slowing down. Many people believe that they must think quickly to be productive. But the opposite is true. When your mind rushes, clarity disappears. When you slow your thinking, even slightly, your thoughts become clearer, more organized, more meaningful. It is like watching a fast-moving river versus a still pond. The river is chaotic, but the pond is calm, reflective, peaceful. Your mind needs moments of stillness to understand itself. Without stillness, thoughts simply collide. One powerful way to slow the mind is through mindful breathing. When you take a deep breath, your mind pauses for a moment. It listens. It resets. A single slow breath can create clarity. 2 breaths can create peace. And 3 breaths can create a sense of balance. Breathing is more than air. It is communication with your mind. And when your mind hears your breath, it understands that it is safe to calm down. Mental clarity also comes from knowing what truly matters. Many thoughts feel important, but very few thoughts actually guide your life. Clarity is the ability to separate the meaningful from the meaningless. It is the ability to say, this thought deserves my attention, and this one does not. When you learn to filter your thoughts, your mental energy becomes powerful. You stop wasting attention on things that drain you. You stop focusing on things you cannot control. And slowly, your mind becomes more focused, more efficient, more alive. Often, mental clarity grows when you reconnect with silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is information. Silence helps you hear your thoughts without interruption. Silence reveals what you truly feel. Silence gives space for solutions to appear. Most people avoid silence because it feels uncomfortable at first. But when you embrace it, silence becomes a friend, a teacher, a guide. Even 1 minute of silence can change the direction of your thinking. Another powerful element of clarity is simplification. We often make our lives more complicated than they need to be. We hold too many goals, too many expectations, too many responsibilities. And when everything becomes important, nothing becomes clear. Clarity grows when you simplify your plans, your actions, your day. When you focus on one thing at a time, your mind becomes sharper. When you give your full attention to one task, your confidence grows. And when you stop trying to do everything at once, life becomes easier to understand. Mental clarity also requires honesty with yourself. Many people avoid facing their real thoughts because truth can be uncomfortable. But clarity cannot exist without truth. When you admit what is bothering you, clearly, directly, honestly, the mind stops hiding. It stops resisting. It opens. Honesty is like switching on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you can see everything clearly. And even if it is not perfect, at least it is visible. And what is visible can be understood. And what is understood can be improved. Another essential part of clarity is intention. When you know what you want, your mind becomes focused. When you live without intention, your mind becomes scattered. Intention gives your thoughts direction, a purpose, a path. It does not need to be a big goal. Even a simple intention like, I want to feel calm today, can bring clarity, because intention reminds your mind what to prioritize. It helps you choose thoughts that support your well-being, and it helps you move away from thoughts that create confusion. Mental clarity also comes from protecting your mind from unnecessary information. We live in a world full of noise. Notifications, messages, opinions, news, advertisements, and endless distractions. This constant information overload fills the mind with too many inputs. And when the mind is full, clarity disappears. Learning to set boundaries, digital boundaries, emotional boundaries, time boundaries, is essential. When you protect your mind from noise, you give clarity a place to live. One of the most beautiful parts of mental clarity is the feeling of lightness it brings. You begin to feel as if your thoughts float instead of sink. You begin to notice that your mind feels spacious, soft, open. You start solving problems more easily. You start making decisions with confidence. You start understanding what you truly need. And you begin to feel connected to yourself again. Authentically, deeply, peacefully. Clarity also changes your communication. When your mind is clear, your words become clear. You speak with intention. You listen with patience. You express your feelings without confusion or fear. People understand you better, and you understand them better. Because clarity is not only an inner skill, it is a social skill. When your thoughts are organized, your relationships become healthier and your conversations become more meaningful. Another gift of clarity is emotional balance. When the mind is noisy, emotions feel stronger and more unstable. But when the mind is clear, emotions become easier to understand. You can see their source. You can see their message. And you can respond to them instead of reacting. Clarity does not erase emotions. It helps you manage them. It helps you stay calm even in difficult moments. It helps you make wise choices even when life becomes stressful. Finally, mental clarity gives you a feeling of connection. A connection to your purpose, your values, your inner voice. When your mind becomes clear, you begin to understand who you are without confusion. You begin to see the life you want to create. You begin to recognize the thoughts that move you forward and the thoughts that hold you back. And in this understanding, you find strength. Quiet strength, gentle strength, real strength. So, what is the heart of mental clarity? It is awareness. It is simplicity. It is calm focus. It is the courage to let go. It is the discipline to slow down. It is the honesty to face your truth. It is the intention to direct your thoughts with purpose. These are the core elements of a clear mind. A mind that supports you, guides you, protects you, and helps you grow. Mental clarity is not a final destination. It is a daily practice, a gentle habit, a way of living. And the more you choose clarity, even in small moments, the more peaceful and powerful your life becomes. Your thoughts become lighter. Your choices become easier. Your future becomes brighter. And slowly, your inner world becomes a place where you feel safe, a place where you feel strong, a place where you feel alive.